Hello, my name is Tamika and I am a student at St. Thomas University. Today I'll be talking to you about domestic violence behind closed doors. Today I will touch on some topics that many are not willing to do so because it may seem taboo. First, let me say that domestic violence doesn't discriminate against color, creed, race, gender, or economic status. Domestic violence is basically revolved around power and control. Domestic violence entails many aspects such as financial abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, and even scriptural abuse. There are others like using the children against you to make you look like the bad person and forcing you to stay. For a long time, domestic violence has been a hushed topic, one that took place behind closed doors and was not talked about outside those doors of the house and or relationship. More so because women did not have rights. They were considered as property. Domestic violence, or IPV, which stands for Intimate Partner Violence, has been happening since the beginning of time. It's nothing new, just that it was kept silent. Examples of this is around the 1500s when early settlers in America based their laws on an Old English common law that explicitly permits wife beating for correctional purposes. The states tried to break away from that law by saying that the husband is only allowed to whip his wife with a switch no bigger than his thumb. In 1824, Mississippi Supreme Court allows a husband to administer moderate chastisement in case of emergencies. In 1871, Alabama is the first state to rescind the legal right of men to beat their wives. In 1882, Maryland actually was the first state to pass a law that makes wife beating a crime, which is punishable by 40 lashes or a year in jail. Then in 1886, North Carolina courts declared that a criminal indictment cannot be brought against a husband unless the battery is so great as to result in permanent injury, endanger their life, or is malicious beyond all reasonable bounds. In the 1970s, women were finally given a voice during the women movement. In 1975, most U.S. states allowed wives to bring criminal action against a husband who inflicts injury upon her. In today's society, domestic violence has come from behind the door and into the light of our world even more, especially with the economic crisis. We witness it all the time, whether it's through the news, through a friend, a relative, or maybe even your own life. Just recent, there was a news story about a North Miami man who shot his girlfriend, two others, and killed himself. People who knew this man stated that he and his girlfriend had a history of domestic violence. In January of this year, a Pompano man fatally shot his girlfriend and took their 3-year-old to his parents' house before shooting and killing himself. There are many other cases like this where the victim doesn't survive. This is the purpose for this podcast, to let you know that you can survive. You can go from victim to victor. Now I want to elaborate more on the subject behind closed doors. Like I stated earlier, domestic violence does not discriminate. Interning at a domestic violence center helped me to realize the seriousness of domestic violence as well as the prejudice that comes with it. Prejudice such as same-sex relationships, a subject that many are not willing to discuss. IPV is very rapid in same-sex relationships. In an effort to be more inclusive, many organizations have made an effort to use gender-neutral terms when referring to perpetratorship and victimhood. Historically, domestic violence has been seen as a family issue, and little interest has been directed at violence in same-sex relationships. It has not been until recently as the gay rights movement has brought the issues of gay and lesbian people into public attention. When research has been conducted on same-sex relationships, a 1999 analysis of 19 studies of partner abuse concluded that research suggests that lesbian and gay men are just as likely to abuse their partners as heterosexual men. Although the study also noted that uncertain nature of much of the contemporary research in the area, gays and lesbians, however, face special obstacles in dealing with the issues that some researchers have labeled the double closet. A Canadian study by Mark W. Lehman suggests similarities include frequency, approximately 1 in every 4 couples, manifestations, emotional, physical, financial, etc., coexistent situations, unemployment, substance abuse, low self-esteem, victims' reactions, fear, feelings of helplessness, hypervigilance, and reasons for staying, love, can work it out, things will change, denial. At the same time, significant differences unique issues, and deceptive myths are typically present. Layman points to add discrimination and fear gays and lesbians can face, dismissal by police and some social services, a lack of support from peers who would rather keep quiet about the problem in order not to attract negative attention toward the gay community, encountering supportive services that are targeted and or structured for the needs of heterosexual women and which may not meet the needs of gay men or lesbians. While working at the center, I discovered there are many male victims of abuse, but many go unreported due to the male macho stereotype. Yes, there are cases which involves women who are the abuser and the male who are the victims. I know this is hard to believe, but it is true. You have some women who are the dominant breadwinner, and they use it against the husband to stay, making him feel worthless and less than a man. You have some aggressive women with men who were taught to not ever put their hands on a woman, even in a situation as this, they do not retaliate. In a study conducted at the University of Florida, it found women are more likely than men to stalk, attack, and abuse their partners. We're seeing women in relationships acting differently nowadays than we have in the past, said Angela Gopher, a UF criminologist who led the research. The nature of criminality has been changing for females, and this change is reflected in intimate relationships as well. Unfortunately, there aren't any male abuse shelters or centers, but there is help if you need it. The purpose of this today is to let everyone know you are not alone and there is help. I know you are asking, well, what is the first step? The first step is to design a safety plan. A safety plan is basically what it says, a plan for safety. A safety plan is designed as a layout for a successful departure. I'm not sure if you can see this, but this is an example of a safety plan, and it includes numbers that you will consider to be very important for you once you depart, as well as having a change of clothes, documents, keys, extra money, for example, like your ID, your birth certificate, your social security card. If you have children, you need to have their birth certificates as well. And if the car is in your name or your husband's name, you need to have that proof as well. And always keep another set of keys at someone's house that you trust, whether it's your neighbor, your best friend, or a relative that he would not call or come to the house of. And there are important websites that you can go to, like the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence, which is www.ncadv.org. And you can also reach Women in Distress, which is located in Broward, and Safe Place, which is located in Miami. It's my hope that this information has been helpful and that it has helped you to see that you can come from behind the closed door and be a victor and not a victim.